Hey everyone, here we are, Anderson Pens. I'm Eric, and I brought Brian with me today. I've asked Brian something very special. Hey Brian, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. I've asked Brian, it started out, I asked him to share his 5 GOAT pens, greatest of all time pens, and by pens I mean fountain pens, but he took his time with that, and he was struggling because...
Deliberated for a couple of weeks.
Yes, it took time because he wanted this vintage and this modern and this, he's got so much vintage. I said, okay, look, we're going to do your 5 GOAT vintage pens and your 5 modern GOAT pens. Today, you brought vintage, right?
Brought vintage, yes.
Okay, now I can't possibly guess what your 5 GOAT vintage pens are, but I do have an idea of one of them.
Okay.
It may not be the greatest of all time. I don't know. But I know it's very special to you, so I'll probably just give it away. I'll have Justin show the audience what it is, and the only thing I'm going to say is if I get this right, if one of these 5 pens is the pen I'm taking that Emperor.
You're taking the Emperor. All right.
So,
all right.
Are these in any particular order?
No, but I will have a disclaimer and say that in 3 days I may have an entirely different 5.
Isn't that true, everyone?
This is the 5 GOAT pens for June 2022.
June 2022. We could do this once a month.
We might run out someday.
Plus, you have many to choose from.
I do. It was a very difficult.
I can't imagine how you chose 5. I can't imagine, because I have seen the number of vintage pens you have. So this is for June 2022, vintage GOAT pens. And so these are just your greatest of all time.
Yes, I guarantee
you don't have
these
to agree
are
with
great.
these.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to guess that the majority of these have never been seen before.
A couple have.
Okay.
A couple have. Yeah.
So, is this in any particular order?
No particular order.
All right.
So, I'm going to start with the first one.
That's the one I chose.
The first one, one of the very first fountain pens I ever got.
Okay.
This is a Schaefer oversized balance.
Was that new and modern when you bought it?
I'm not that old.
I don't know how old this pen is. Let's play innocent.
1930s.
Oh.
But I love this pen. It was the departure at the time. It was a significant pen because our pens were flat. They were flat tops, essentially tubes.
Yes, I guess
with the nib.
Yeah.
And Schaefer came out with the balance, and it's just lovely tapered on the ends. The oversize is just such a lovely girth.
You posted something.
It does post.
You posted a 1930s pen.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's it made of?
This is made out of plastic.
Not
resin.
hard rubber.
It's not hard rubber. Is a lever filler, and then has this beautiful 2-tone lifetime nib. And then, of course, we have the lifetime dot on the cap.
Did they start that dot, the white dot, from the minute they became a pen maker?
No.
But this is from the 30s. It already has.
This is from the 30s.
And I'm sorry.
30s or
did you say
40s, and this was a later.
It's a Schaefer
oversized balance.
Oversized balance.
Yes. Yeah.
From the 30s.
This one might be early 40s, but yeah.
But it's plastic.
It's plastic. Yeah.
So
it's resin. Yeah.
You don't have to be quite as careful.
No, not at all. But lever filler, it's great. It's I remember. I can tell you exactly how much I paid for this pen when I bought it. It was $38. $38 for this pen.
You didn't buy that in 1930.
That was about 25 years ago.
This is one of your first.
One of my first vintage pens. Yes.
May I?
I was big into Schaefers for a brief couple weeks.
One of the best looking Schaefers I've ever seen.
It's nice, isn't it? The clip is beautiful and tapered,
but they went downhill from here. This is beautiful.
It's a great pen. I have a couple of them.
It's beautiful.
And it's just it's significant in pen history for being.
Is it operational?
Yeah, that one works. Yeah.
Very nice.
Occasionally,
I agree.
I
agree.
All right.
And thanks for the Emperor.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the pen.
All right. You can have the green Emperor.
Okay. As soon as it gets you.
Next up, this is probably the one pen in here that doesn't ever actually leave the house.
Oh, this is the one that never leaves the house.
This is really a fantastic pen. I bought this at Chicago Pen Show.
I'm going to guess it's an Aiken Lambert.
It is not an Aiken Lambert.
One of these has got to be an Aiken Lambert.
It is. This is actually an Esterbro Relief 314 modeled hard rubber taper cap eyedropper made by Paul Wirt.
Oh.
And we know that for a couple of reasons. One, ventless nib and vented feed, which was solely a Paul Wirt design.
Ventless nib and a vented feed only from Paul Wirt.
Yeah, and there's no breather hole on the nib.
It's just a slit there.
Just a slit. Yep.
And he made for Esterbro.
Yes.
Is it stamped?
It's stamped our Esterbro and Company Relief 314, and then on the end here, Made in USA, which is how a lot of the words were stamped Made in the USA around the end of the barrel. And then it actually has the model number here, which is 3 on the end.
Piston filler?
This is an eyedropper. This is early. It's got a lot of threads.
Lots of threads.
Lots of threads.
It's something you have never inked up.
You've dipped it. I dipped it and wrote one letter with it. So
you mean a letter like Dear Lisa or a single character letter?
No, a regular letter. I wrote a letter to my mother once.
Oh, okay.
With this pen. But it's exceptionally rare.
And this was the one that never leaves your house.
This one doesn't leave the house.
And
yeah.
here it is at the store.
It's the only taper cap Wirt made modeled eyedropper I've ever seen.
And you've seen a lot of pens.
So I have several other versions of Wirt made Esterbro Relief 314s, but none with a taper cap and modeled hard rubber like this.
Do you consider this an Esterbrook or a Wirt?
It's an Esterbrook.
It's an Esterbrook made by Wirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what did I say it was?
Aiken Lambert.
Because
Aiken
I
Lambert.
know you're big on Aiken
Yes,
Lambert. I would have gone through a lot of names before I came up with Esterbrook on that.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. Had I not asked, when I remember specifically when I asked the question at the pen show of the gentleman I bought it from, do you have any eyedroppers marked Esterbrook? Because most people have no idea they existed. Oh. And he literally, my heart started going when he literally bent over the table.
Do you remember who it was?
It was a gentleman from Hawaii.
Okay,
that's all I can remember. Yeah. I don't think he's in the circuit anymore, but he was selling off some of his collection, and this one is it's fantastic. It's just really.
How long have you had it? Approximately.
Approximately maybe 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and it's perfect. It's really the imprints are crisp and
yes, I could read them from here,
and I just love it so much. So
I can see why. And there's still 3 more to go.
There's still 3 more. All right. Next one.
We have not seen an Aiken Lambert.
We have not seen an Aiken Lambert yet. Okay, so this is the next one.
Waterman.
This is not a Waterman.
Aiken Lambert.
This is an Aiken Lambert. This to me is it makes the list for a couple of reasons. One,
first of all, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I mean, look at this.
I don't know if the camera's going to catch that.
The high relief.
That is some really
filigree.
High or deep relief.
It's amazing. I mean, you can run your finger over it, and it's just. It's no cheap.
They don't do that anymore.
They don't do this anymore.
About what year?
This is early. This is pre-Waterman Aiken, so it's this might be 1890s.
Wow. Someone
late
cared
1890s.
about that craftsmanship.
Yeah, and this is gold filled. It's not solid gold, but it's gold filled. Slip cap, eyedropper. But what's cool? Another cool thing about this is the nib. If you look at the nib, you'll see there's the vent hole.
Yes.
And the slit doesn't go all the way down to the hole. Do you see that?
Why'd they do that?
That's how all the very early Aiken Lambert nibs look.
Was it a design decision?
Yeah, it was a design decision. They're very flexible, of course. I mean, you can see that from a mile away.
Is this inked?
This is not inked, no.
Has it ever been inked?
I don't think I've ever inked this pen. But what makes this, for me, significant, I bought this pen in Columbus, Ohio. This was, I believe, the very first pen I ever bought at a pen show auction.
At an auction?
At an auction, okay. Yes. I came home with 2 pens that day. This was one of them.
And he likes auctions.
And it's beautiful.
Fantastic. Now, did you get a chance to look at it before the auction? Did they do that?
They always had the preview. That particular time I didn't. I didn't do any of the preview, so I saw it and I go, oh, wow, I'll bid. Nobody else was bidding, and I it wasn't cheap, but
congratulations.
Yeah, it's
a
very
bit late,
nice.
but congratulations. Yeah. How long have you owned that one?
Approximately 15 years. 15 years.
You've been doing this a long time.
So yeah.
I don't know. That one's pretty. The Schaefer, though, has really impressed me.
Yes, the Schaefer is nice. I mean, it's a good everyday user.
Yes.
These oversized balances, even when we get them here in the store for resale, they never stay. They're beautiful. They're gone. All right, next up. Okay. I'm going to trick you on this one.
Good. Waterman.
It is a Waterman.
I knew that.
It is a Waterman. However, it is not marked Waterman.
Oh, it's the unmarked Waterman.
It's the unmarked Waterman.
I've heard of those.
It does have a Waterman nib.
Okay.
It is marked on the barrel.
With the Waterman number?
12 in red.
Oh, in
red.
red.
But it is not marked on the barrel or anywhere else Waterman.
So this is like tier 3 Waterman.
Well, what the tier 3 water? Oh my goodness. No, but what's interesting, I don't know if you can read that. Can you read what's on the cap there, that imprints?
Jacob Rupert. Compliments of Jacob Rupert Brewer. Brewer.
Yes. You know who Jacob Rupert is?
Apparently made beer? No.
Jacob Rupert is somebody that I think a lot of people they're aware of his contribution. Right? Yes.
Baseball.
Is one of the things he did. But the Rupert family originally were brewers.
Oh, they were brewers.
In New York.
Okay.
And so this was a promotional pen for Jacob Rupert that he would give out.
Is that why it's not Mark Waterman?
It could be.
He asked them not to mark it.
It could be. But people aren't familiar with him for that reason. He was also a New York State senator, legislator, and he was also involved in baseball. He is responsible for building the house that Ruth built and for negotiating Babe Ruth's transfer from the Red Sox to the New York Yankees.
Okay, this is a nice pen.
So this it's just a common Waterman 12 eyedropper.
Common. Did you just say common?
Common, yes, but it has a little bit. It has interesting provenance and a solid baseball.
Where did you get it?
I don't remember where I got this. I think I bought it at a pen show. Right? Yes, I don't remember.
Very odd for you.
I don't remember. It might have come in a lot off of eBay or something, but I saw it, and it's in perfect condition too. It's
really, it looks gorgeous.
The chasing is nice and crisp.
Is it hard rubber?
It's hard rubber. Yes, yeah. So, but beautiful pen. I think it's fantastic.
I want to touch it.
Anything that's related to Babe Ruth is, in some way, shape, or form, is pretty awesome.
And you've never inked it?
No.
Because you wouldn't ink something like that.
No, I have other Waterman 12s if I want to ink up a Waterman.
Okay, that one's certainly cool.
It's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool. I have a lot of pens that have some kind of engraving or compliments of or presented to whatever. But this is one of my favorites. Yeah. This is one of my favorites.
When I first got into fountain pens, I thought I only wanted vintage because I liked the history. Even if I didn't know it, I liked there was a history. Who owned the pen? Where's it been? What has it written? And all that. But usually you have no idea. You have some idea of that one.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
And it's nice too if you collect the older pens, especially the overlays. They always have a little area
for the name
for engraving of some sort.
Oh, it doesn't have to be a name.
Doesn't have to be a name. This one is engraved M McC on it. But when they don't have an engraving there, it almost looks naked. And I know a lot of people won't buy a pen that has engraving on it, but on these vintage, the overlays,
kind of needs it. It's like it has the history.
Yes.
Unless you are specifically buying NOS.
Yes.
New old stock.
Yes.
Then you're not expecting it.
I don't think on vintage 1920s and 30s pens engravings on overlays I don't think they affect the value. So in my opinion.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So anybody who passes on it that's their loss. So
more for you.
More for me. Now this next one is the most modern of the bunch.
I'm going to say that's an Esterbro.
This is an Esterbro.
Okay.
Yes.
Looks like a dollar pen.
It is not a dollar pen. This actually, why would you think this looks like a dollar pen?
I've taken your class too.
Why would you think this is a dollar pen?
Flat top.
Flat top? Yeah, but...
A flat bottom.
Okay, but what does a dollar pen have that the rest of them don't have?
A dollar price tag?
So this pen, this is what's called a VisuMaster.
Oh, that's a VisuMaster.
This pen came out right in the 40s or early 40s, and only was out for a couple of years. And
so
it's this.
You'll have to take the cap off.
So yeah, we'll check that in a minute. But this is really kind of like a hybrid, a transition in between the flat tops and the transitionals into the Model J series. So this is actually the first Model J that Esterbro ever came out with.
Oh, and Model J VisuMaster.
They just call it a VisuMaster. Yeah, it's a JRE or something like that. But it's got the transitional clip. On the top, it has a metal jewel with Esterbro in between these crosshatch lines.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
This material is great. It's got little thin, followed by thick slabs, thin, thick, thin.
It's a very shiny and beautiful pen.
Yes,
I don't know if that is caught by the camera, but it's gorgeous.
And then you take it off, and then it has a visualated section.
Because this is a piston filler.
This is a lever filler. And then this one has the very harder to find frosted nib with the little kind of a teardrop vent hole.
I don't know if I've ever seen a frosted Esterbro.
And then, of course, it has the flat feet on it. But this is just a really neat pen. This whole series, very short-lived, reasonably expensive at the time. And
did they have a color name for this?
this red.
Red.
Yeah, Esterbrook wasn't too fancy after the 40s. They just said, well,
Red.
It's red, it's copper, it's blue, it's
So
green.
what year do we think this is?
That's probably 1940, 41.
Okay. Is this pen number 5 already?
That is number 5.
This flew
yes.
by.
Yes.
Should have done 10 goat pens.
But
Thank goodness there's an Esterbrook.
yes.
Because,
Well, there's 2.
well, that's
we had
true.
this one
That
here,
one, I
yeah.
don't think of that as an Esterbrook for some reason.
It was not manufactured by Esterbrook. This was. But these are fairly hard to come by. There's actually 3 different variations of the pen. This is the first variation. There is actually a later variation of the VisuMaster that does not have a visualated section.
But they still call it a VisuMaster?
Well, it's the same material, so
okay.
I just call it a VisuMaster.
I thought that's the reason they call it the VisuMaster. Is that not the reason?
Yes, yeah, it's visualated. Yeah,
It's visualated.
visualated.
This is beautiful.
And it is. It's a stunning pen. All the colors are great, but I think the red
Slip cap,
is
right?
It's slip on you. But I love it. It's just one of my favorite patterns that Esterbrook ever came out with.
Yeah. Aside from the gold overlay, that's the one that jumps out at you.
Yeah.
But the gold obviously does. Mm-hmm. And I still like that Schaefer.
The Schaefer's nice,
maybe
isn't it?
the Schaefer I have liked the most in my life.
I'll have to bring in some of my other my Schaefers.
Just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And feels so nice.
Very dependable, very smooth writer. Nice tight clip. I mean, there's nothing about it. I mean, that pen writes as good or better than.
I always wear shirts with shirt pockets.
Yes. So. But
Okay, can you name them one more time for me?
sure. So we've got the oversized Schaefer balance.
Okay.
We have the Paul Wirt made Esterbrook Relief 314 taper cap in model hard rubber. We've got the Aiken Lambert gold filigree overlay, very early model. And we've got the Waterman 12, but the Jacob Ruppert version.
Rupert.
Rupert. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Neither do I.
And then the Esterbrook VisuMaster in red.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I must say, and I hope everyone agrees with me, you've done a very good job. Very good job picking your own goat pen.
I could have picked 12 or 20.
Yeah, I had to.
That's why we may have to do this again.
We can do part 2.
So
This was very interesting.
What did you think I was going to pick?
It's the white pen that with the dude's name on it, where you had one.
The dude's name, Rosborough. Yes.
Lisa had the
yes.
other, and that
the
now you're married.
White doctor's pen.
But see, I knew that's an important pen for you, but that's probably because it's sentimentally important.
Yes.
These are important for other reasons.
Well, yeah,
These are
that one was on the list for sure, but that one also doesn't leave the house.
That's what it shouldn't. But you have both now.
Yes, I have both the pencil and the pen on that one. Yeah. Maybe
that's how it works.
That'll revive itself in a later.
Thank you very much. Before we do the next version of your 5 greatest of all time vintage, we're going to get you to do modern.
Modern, yes.
And
I have finally picked those out.
Have you picked them out?
I have picked them out.
We will do that soon then. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.